Harriet Tubman was an enslaved woman who made a daring escape. She was a spy, a campaigner for women's rights, and a founder of a home for the elderly. Most famously of all, she was a conductor on the Underground Railroad. Huh? What's that? We'll get back to that. Let's start when Harriet was born around 1820, when slavery was still legal in much of the US. It was banned in the North, but the South still enslaved people for monetary gain. Harriet was born into slavery in Maryland and was expected to work long hours every day for free. Early in life, Harriet suffered a head wound when an overseer threw a heavy metal weight and hit her. The injury caused dizziness, pain, and hypersomnia, which is a condition that means that you fall asleep even when you don't want to. She suffered these symptoms for the rest of her life. Harriet had a large family, but her sisters were sold and taken away. Horrifically, that was extremely common back then. Tragically for Harriet, she never saw them again. That and other incidents made her decide to escape to the North where slavery was banned. And this leads us back to the Underground Railroad mentioned earlier, which didn't look anything like this, but was a secret network of people and hiding places that helped enslaved people escape. Ah, gotcha. In 1849, Tubman escaped to Philadelphia, on her own, under the cover of darkness through harsh conditions. And then, over the next 10 years, she used the Underground Railroad to return to Maryland again and again to help her family and friends escape. Slowly, traveling by night, and in extreme secrecy, she guided dozens of other people to freedom. Okay, that takes courage. Tubman carried a revolver for protection from slave catchers and their dogs. She also threatened to shoot any of the escapees who tried to turn back. You see, doing that would threaten the safety of the rest of the group. She told anyone who wanted to go back, "You go on, or you die." To complete her daring missions, Tubman relied on trustworthy people to hide her and tell her which way to go next. She used disguises. She walked, rode horses, and traveled by boat and train. She bribed people. She followed rivers that snaked northward and used the stars to lead her. But Tubman's incredible story doesn't end there. When the Civil War began in 1861, she worked for the Union Army, first as a cook and nurse, and then as an armed scout and spy. She guided one particular raid which liberated more than 700 enslaved people. I'd call that a successful raid. After the war and the abolition of slavery, Harriet Tubman was active in the women's suffrage movement, which was fighting for votes for women. Tubman gave speeches about her own experiences being enslaved and as the liberator of hundreds of people. She spoke in favor of women's right to vote. As an enslaved person who found her freedom, a determined fighter in the Civil War, and a women's rights activist, Harriet Tubman is an icon of courage and freedom. Until next time, that's that.